Pancakes. I decided to get a little experimental yesterday. I've never made pancakes from scratch before, so I figured, what the hell? These are just leftovers from yesterday. This one I'm eating right here just happens to be bacon and cheddar. I'm really glad how it came out. Did a couple for the folks. Chocolate chip. They came out really good. You really gotta try these on your own. They're actually pretty cool to make. Here we go, anything. Bananas, chocolate chip. Oh, right, that's not why you clicked on the video. You didn't want to see me eating a whole thing of pancakes. We're going to talk about how you make them. This is not binging with Babish, no. You came here for me to talk about the Emoji movie. Saw it over the weekend on Netflix. I was kind of bored. Along with another film, but I'll get to that a little later after I finish this. There was something interesting in the theaters this week. It was just usual ditty. Something about a CJ rabbit and some kinky conclusion to a trilogy I didn't really care about. But yeah, the Emoji movie, it's interesting because everyone's saying it's the worst of 2017. It's one of those movies that's like the critical punching bag. Every single year there's always one film that comes out, and it's like the one that everybody hates the most. Everyone jumps on. They say, oh my god, this is horrible. This is like the worst thing ever seen in existence. And really? Is that the case? I mean, I can understand why and all, but does it really deserve the ultimate hate? Sorry, it's really good. It's just that there's tons of movies like these every single time, and even I've been subjected to a couple myself, like Furry Vengeance, and actually that's the worst one I can think of at the time. Even Furry Vengeance is worse than the Emoji movie. Because it's like every single bland cliche you can think of for a movie like that, where someone comes in, it's all corporate business, and they're trying to tear up the wilderness. But with Emoji movie, it's a different case. It's like synergy, cynical synergy, and all that sort of stuff. It's a product, and blah, 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 bleep, bleep, bleep. It's like the Space Jam of, I don't know, phone movies. Cell phone movies in this case. But in the film's defense, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's the worst of the year. It's just a straightforward bad movie. Now, if you would argue that it is the movie that is the end of times, all that sort of stuff, calm down. Like, really look at what's going to come out in 2018. But if you want to say it's a bad movie, I can agree there. But what really bugged me is that everyone jumped on it like it was this big train wreck. It was going to be the most horrifying thing in ever existence. Like, it's the end of times, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It's just a run-of-the-mill bad movie. At least that's how I see it. Just straightforward. I thought it was boring bad. Like, everyone was jumping on it like, oh my god, this is horrible, it's the worst of the year, they plug this in, they plug that in. Yeah, but at least make it interestingly bad, like, fascinatingly bad, like, absurdly bad. That's the kind of thing I was hoping for, like Super Mario Brothers, or, what's another one that I like a lot? Like, if you're gonna make it a bad movie, like, if the movie's gonna be bad, make it fascinatingly bad, make it, like, really out there bad. Like, I know I have a soft spot for Howard the Duck, but at least there's, like, all these strange things plugging into it. You have this anthropomorphic, creature and like, the Dark Overlords on another planet trying to take over the Earth and everything, and Howard just wants to get home and all that sort of stuff. Like, that kind of absurd bad. No, it's just copying and pasting from other things. It's Wreck-It Ralph, then it's Inside Out, and then it's like, oh, I want to be more than this, I want to be more than that, and you kind of see where I'm getting at here. So on the one hand, is it something to be angry about? Something to be like really, crazily offensive, that sort of stuff? I think it really just depends on you. I mean, when I saw it, I thought to myself, okay, everyone said this is horrible, it's the worst thing in existence, nothing can break me down, I've seen worse, and worse does exist. Look at the 1970s, there's like tons of like jungle trek movies about cannibalism and stuff. They were far more horrifying than this. Seriously, you gotta really look into the recipe of these things, they're actually pretty tasty. Not that hard to make either. So, okay. You have this world with all these little emojis and stuff on this phone, and whatever emotion they're glued to, they have to emote that emotion. Okay, you could probably do something with that. You could probably make, like, some kind of a dark sort of comedy along the lines of, say, Sausage Party. That's the only general venue I can actually see this movie working, if it was really made for adults. If it had clever writing, if it had clever attributes, that would probably, make it at least something. But it's not. Orange, banana, pineapple juice. Even more interesting, the Emoji Movie. Okay, so you have this one emotion who's supposed to be, he's voiced by T.J. Miller. And he has more than one emotions, and he can do more, and he wants to do more, and he goes out of his little app cubicle, whatchamacallit bar, just to prove that he can be more than that, or, oh no, wait, hold on a second, no, the journey is that he wants to find a hacker, voiced by Anna Faris, to somehow get them to another app so they could like find some weird code so she can program him to change his mood and everything, and it's like, that's really not an interesting plot. It's more of an excuse to just sort of explore the inside of your phone and like plug in things like Candy Crush and Twitter, and YouTube gets a little mention at one point. They even they even go inside YouTube and stuff. Yeah, this was just boring bad. It's just typical run-of-the-mill bad. There's really nothing unique or special about it. It's just a run-of-the-mill bad kids film. And I think if they had a story to go with it, that at the very least had some strain of focus, it's in the phone so much. I think that's sort of the biggest problem. It's more intrigued in trying to build this whole thing, and it just fails on itself because there's no sense of character. There's no sense of like something to gravitate or move with. And so you're pretty much just stuck there watching this thing, and yeah, it's just forgettable. It's just really forgettable. Even, the owner of the phone, you don't even see him that often, and he just pops in for like a little comedic moment, like when his phone goes off at the wrong moments. It's just, like, when you have something, at least make an effort with it. At least do, hell with all I care. I think more of the uproar is not just because of the fact that, actually no, part of the uproar is it's part of the product and stuff, but there's been stuff in the 80s and the 90s where they took a toy like the Rubik's Cube or gummy bears and just turned them into the show or product, but at least, good and bad as they were, there was an effort to make something out of it. There was at least something to gravitate towards and at least take interest with. At least, that much I know. I mean, in this day and age, you can just take anything and just adapt it. Video games, books, maybe even your pet dog. I wasn't really upset with this one because I heard all the bad reviews. I heard so many things about it. So I wasn't really hyped. It was more of a case where it's like, oh yeah, it's on Netflix, you know, it's just like an hour and 15 minutes. It just comes and goes, and that's really it. And that was pretty much to be expected. I think after all the heavy, you know, oh my god, this is worse, this is the worst movie I've ever heard of the year, it's like, there's worse. There has been worse. Like, I can just tick off the times where I had, you know, bad movie experiences, and the highest one, in terms of bad theatrical experiences, the highest one I can think of is maybe Disney's Home on the Range. That is probably a lot higher in terms of this film, because even that has no effort being plugged into it. There's just all these cliches and stuff, and it's so bright and smiley, and it's like, you can do better than this. I know you can. That, to me, is a horrible experience. Again, same thing. Mars Needs Mums, you know? That could be like a really cool, fun space adventure, and yet it becomes such a depressing slog to sit through. That is a movie I can get worked up against, because there's so many bad morals and messages going into it. Here it's just, I can be more than this. I can do better. You know, I'm important communication and stuff. We're the most important technological thing. And it's like, yeah, I can't say that's been said before. Same thing with emotions. Who we are as people, you know. The only thing I can kind of see getting worked up against is the whole concept where they're trying to promote, you know, cell phones as being the most important technological thing. And yeah, that's true. I mean, right now I'm recording this on my Samsung Android. It's been helpful quite a lot. Better than that clunky camera they used to drive around. But the fact that it's addressing it for kids, the fact that it's sort of saying, you know, we're the most important thing in existence, you know, communication, all sort of stuff. Yeah, I can see myself getting maybe a little worked up about that concept-wise. But like I said, it's just a run-of-the-mill bad kids. It's a run-of-the-mill bad kids movie. There's better things out there, you know. There's only two things I actually kind of liked. Only two. Joke-wise, there's one gag in the opening where you see all the emotions and stuff, and you know, you hear T.J. Miller, you know, we are all emotions, and we're born without emotion, and we're stuck without emotion, and you know, if the happy emotion's happy, he has to be happy. If the sad emotion's sad, he has to be sad. And they, if I remember correctly, they cut to a bit where you see the sad emotion coming out of a convenience store crying. He goes, oh, I won the lottery. Oh. Like, okay, that's a funny joke. That's the only closest it comes to being funny. Another is Jean's parents, who are played by Stephen Wright and Jennifer Coolidge. There were a couple of points where they kind of got a couple of, not like laugh out loud kind of laughs, more like a couple of, you know, cute little chuckles. Like the fact that they're meh, and the fact that they're meh all the time, and so they have to deliver, like, certain emotions in that mood. I don't know what it is. They sounded like coneheads the entire time. It was just so weird. Oh, Mel, I somehow have strange feelings for you. She sounds like a depressed Linda from Bob's Burgers. Why couldn't they be the stars of the movie? Why couldn't it just be them and make it like a whole dark animated thing instead it has to be like this smiley emoji voiced by Myra Rudolph, who's so, you know, up in arms about trying to control the emotional world and how we're all conformed to one thing and conformity is a good thing and, you know, anything else is a malfunction, and she is so obsessed with, like, keeping her appearance and stuff, flossing and scraping. It's like, no. Just no. It just... there are moments where I can kind of see at least some form of creativity. Like, I think they go to a bar at one point that's full of these, like, hackers and stuff, and there's, like, a bunch of internet trolls. Okay, that's an idea, but it's not fleshed out. It's not completed. It's not there. Oh, no, wait, I just remembered. Chicken Little is actually a worse movie than Home on the Range. Yeah, Chicken Little's worse. I mean, Home on the Range is, like, bright and colorful, but Chicken Little is, like, very drab and dark. Sorry to derail, I can't think of any. I'm trying to think of things to talk about here. So... It's just... It's what it is. They made this thing, they released it. If you have a right to be upset about it, yeah. But if you're gonna go out on a limb and say it is the worst thing in existence and that it's the end of times, dial that back a little bit. There are worse things out there. This is just another one of those kid blunders. I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record again and again and again, but that's really what it is. I just sort of sat there for like an hour and 15 minutes, and there was just really nothing to offer. There was nothing to offer in terms of, humor or interest. There was nothing, horrible, upset to be, enraged about. If I want a movie to, really be bad and really be the worst, it really has to give me something that is, like, really horrible, really, something for me to remember by how bad it is. I think last month, when I was doing a roundup of 2017, there were certain... I do this every year. I always look at, like, certain films I didn't see in theaters, the good ones and the bad ones, and I always try to see which one I have an interest in looking into. And the one that sprung to mind was The Book of Henry, because I heard some things about it. Watch that. It is such a bizarre feature that even that has the better title being called the worst movie of 2017. It starts with a child prodigy. Then said child prodigy, thinks his neighbor is abusing his daughter, so it becomes that kind of movie. And then, like, not even at the midway point, the prodigy kid gets cancer, and he starts, getting ill from it. And then, spoiler alert, something happens to him. You can probably know what it is, but something happens to him because of this certain illness. And his family discovers a diary he left behind detailing notes about his plans and plot to kill the neighbor. Okay, that I can get worked up against. That I can see myself getting really furious and angry over. Yes, the Emoji Movie is a mainstream film, and there's attributes that connect it more towards an open, target audience. It's geared towards kids. There are maybe little sprinkles that can kind of really rub me the wrong way. Like, there's a bit where the teacher's talking about hieroglyphics, like, oh, these are important, these are pictures forming words and stuff. And the fact that the kid, the owner of the phone, his kid's friend, keeps saying, don't talk to her in person, go send her an emoji, that's even more important. It's like, don't socialize, use your phone to socialize. And it's like, yeah, I can see myself getting a little tossed about that. But because it's such a quick moment, and it's not, like, dragged on for, like, a whole conversation, it's just done in such a lazy manner. Like, a really, really lazy manner. If the movie doesn't care about the stuff it's throwing in and addressing, why should we care? Really, why should we? Because next thing you know, you'll be sitting down in front of your own phone, eating pancakes, drinking orange juice, and just doing something half-assed because, well, it's on your mind, many people are talking about it, and you figured, might as well get my 2 cents out there. But if you don't care about the movie, and the movie don't care about you, why should you care? Those are my 2 cents, that's all I got. Other than that, the only good thing was that breakfast was delicious. Later.